I have opened up the document called Remote Drone Incorrect 2-6. This is for Project 2-6 on page 59 of your textbook. And this project is where a student who is interning with the company made some mistakes to the music video project schedule. Okay, he is new to Microsoft Project just as yourself, and he entered some information incorrectly. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead into the project and we're going to correct the problems with the project schedule before distributing out to the team. Okay, so one of the things that you need to understand, first of all, about project resources are there are three different types of project resources. Okay, resources are considered work resources, material resources, or cost resources. Work resources include things like people and machines and the need for their time, such as for people, how many hours do they work, how many days, how many weeks, etc. People, or machines. So, how many hours they need to work, or for the machines, how many days, or something like that. For example, in this project here, our resources as far as human beings or people, we have Annette Hill and Ryan and Ian. And as far as our machines, we have the digital camera, we have a anemometer, a safety tether, clipboards, etc., like that. And then we also have what's called material resources. And material resources are consumables, such as bricks, oil, concrete, and they are all independent. So in this example here, we have SD cards, we have printer paper that are considered materials. And as our book has indicated, the last three items, these have been identified by the wrong type. So our survey team members are definitely not going to be considered material. They're going to be considered as a work type, okay? The last type of resource is considered the cost resource. These are time independent resources. So for example, if we were flying somebody in on travel, that is what we consider a cost resource. So airplane tickets for the travel. So let's say that you're traveling from Los Angeles to Boston. The price is going to be different, but you could also travel from, say, Miami to Seattle. And of course, it doesn't matter how long you travel, but the price will be different as far as travel, okay? So travel is considered a cost resource, okay? And along with travel, food is considered a cost resource because you're going to have different types of food that you're going to use probably to provide lunch for your staff, or you have a model technician that's going to be coming in and you want to provide lunch for the model technician. So this is what we considered a food would be considered the cost resource. So to fix these errors here, we're going to take a look at the last three, and we have bottled water. Okay, now bottled water is not considered a work resource because, like we had discussed, material resources are consumables. So bottled water is going to be considered a consumable. So we're going to change this bottled water. We're going to click on the row and change that to a material. So bottled water is going to be considered a material resource because it is going to be consumed. And then, like it indicates in the very end of step 3 there, it says estimate your rate if necessary. So let's figure our rate for the bottled water is probably, let's say, $5, maybe for a 12 pack of bottled water. So we can put in here $5. Okay. Now the next item here that's incorrect is pens. Okay. Pens has been put in here by, as a cost, but pens are actually also considered materials because they are consumables, because once we have used them up and they have run out of ink, they're disposable. So you won't have the pens anymore. So those also are considered a material. And I'm going to click in here and let's say, maybe a dozen of pens costs $3. So I'm going to make that $3. We're just estimating the rate here. Now our survey team is not a material because a survey team member is not a consumable. They are actually considered a work resource, because once again, work resources are people and or machines that need time or hours, days, or weeks to perform the tasks. So we're going to change the material to a work resource. And then we're going to go ahead and just estimate the rate if necessary. So let's just say that our work resource gets paid about $15 an hour. So we're going to change that to $15 and press enter. Okay. So now you have gone in and you have corrected the last 3 resources there in your resource sheet tool. And just remember, when it comes to working with resource types, once again, work resources are people and machines. They need time, hours, days, or week to perform tasks. And these all include Annette, Ryan, and Yang Lee. Also your model technician. But then also you have machines, which is your digital camera, your anemometer, your safety tether, clipboards, large conference room, small conference room. The reason that these here are considered work resources is because it looks like that you're going to be charged per hour to use these conference rooms. Materials are your SD cards, your printer paper, your bottled water, your pens. Once again, material resources are consumables. And then you have your cost resources as travel, because travel are independent resources. And also food, if you're providing food, that is independent cost. And those costs, sometimes fluctuate and may cost you different items. And then I'm going to go ahead, which I should have done this in the beginning, was save this file with my last name. Because you always want to keep your original file so that you can work with it. You can always download it again from the Falcon Online class. But if you've already downloaded it to your computer, you always want to go ahead and save it first and rename it, so you always have that original file to work with again. So this is going to be my last name with remote drone corrected resources, and I'm going to leave the name once again of the or the number there of the assignment, because that helps me to know that it's your assignment and that it's Mastery 2.6. And I'm going to go ahead and save.